Coach Ruth here, and I'm here to talk to you about the value of hiring a coach versus just following a training plan. And there's a lot of resources on the internet, and now that we also have ChatGPT, I have noticed a lot of new athletes coming to me or calls that I get where people refer to, well, ChatGPT told me, da 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 da. And while you can get some really well written things actually from AI or from the internet, nothing will replace a person that can look at you specifically as an athlete, talk to you about your goals, and modify things in real time based on what your needs are. So I came up with a bit of a list of some of the things that you could expect from a coach versus just a training plan. Okay, so a training plan is a pretty generic roadmap. Even something that's created with AI is going to be kind of generic because it doesn't actually know you. And so it can be created on kind of based on ideal life circumstances, an ideal ability to adapt, and it usually progresses you towards a very fixed goal. And there's not going to be any variation based on illness or travel, niggles that you might start to feel, fatigue for whatever reason, stress, lack of motivation, maybe an overabundance of motivation. And again, the training plan may feel personalized to your needs to a certain extent, especially if it's made by AI. But it is usually going to be too rigid because it won't be adjusted based on your actual daily life and your needs. And you won't probably maximize your potential. So, some of the things that a coach can offer you that just following a training plan can't, and this also includes if you were to hire a coach and you only wanted a training plan from that coach. I've had athletes come to me that just want a training plan and they don't want to have any interaction. They don't want to follow any kind of communication with me, and those I don't do those anymore because they don't turn out well. So a coach can help to create a training plan based on what your life circumstances are. Everybody has a dynamic life. Everything's moving. There's zillions of things that, we've got a bunch of irons in the fire. We've got work, family, lots of requirements on our time. And so a coach will create your training based on your exact circumstances, and they can understand that your ability to adapt will vary throughout the course of a build, and they'll progress you towards various goals, and some of those goals can't be measured objectively. So, for instance, a goal I actually met with an athlete this morning was she was able to hit her paces with a lot less effort in her body. She was able to hold herself better while hitting the same paces she would have been able to hit on her own. And so she used a lot less energy, and so she learned a lot more about how to hold herself when she wants to race. And so there's sometimes some goals that won't show up in your data that your Garmin or Coros or whatever can give you. And then the coach can also help you with not just the how or the why. A coach can help you with the how, the why, the where even, like where should you do this workout, the when you should do this workout, not just the what to do. And a coach will adapt your training based on your family needs. If you have kids, if you don't, if you are caring for an aging parent or whatever, there's a lot of family needs that we would consider. Your work schedule. One of my things that I really work on my athletes with is I never want your training to take over your life. It should complement your life and it should help you get towards your goals, but it should never take over your life. And So when to run around your work schedule, we plan that specifically for you. Travel plans. I'm not going to tell you not to travel. I want you to have a full, enjoyable life. And so what we'll do is we'll just adjust training for when you're going to travel, where you're going to be, what your ability to train in that area will be, if you're going to have a gym or not. And so we'll create specific training based on your travel. Illness. None of us can plan for illness. And so there's going to be times where you just get sick and you don't know what to do or when to try to dig back in. I have an athlete that just got ill this weekend that we thought he was feeling better, and then he kind of went backwards again, so we had to modify again. And it's totally fine and encouraged to modify based on how you're feeling. You're going to lose a lot less training time in the long run if you let yourself fully recover from illness than if you try to rush back and try not to miss a training day. Because if you try not to miss a training day, you'll end up missing a lot more training than if you just let yourself heal and then got back into things. So a coach can help guide that. The pace of adaptation. Sorry for that noise. That's my cat running in and out the cat door. The pace of adaptation can speed up or slow down throughout a build. So sometimes we're adapting really well. The stress in our life is low. Our bodies are really like soaking up the training and we're feeling awesome. And there's other times where our adaptation slows down. We're feeling a little bit more fatigued. Maybe life stress goes up. Maybe nutritionally we're struggling a little bit. So a coach can help adjust the training based on how quickly you are or are not adapting. If you were to be following a rigid training plan, there would be no adaptation. There would be no adjustment for adaptation. You either follow it and stay rigid with it, or you fall off the plan. Another thing is fatigue or illness or injury. So, or even just little niggles like, oh, I have this little like quad irritation today. Like, what do I do? When you've got questions about things, a coach will be right there to help you navigate it so that you're not trying to find answers on the internet or talking to a friend that runs also. A coach can help tailor the information to you with your goals in mind. A coach will also provide accountability and motivation when you're lacking. But also, what's more common for runners is a coach will help you temper your motivation and excitement so that you use it well and so that you don't go too hard too soon. And so most of the runners I work with aren't struggling with motivation to get going. They're struggling with self-control to not do too much. So a coach can really help with that and help you understand why. A coach understands that you need a dynamic plan, a plan that is going to adapt with you. So I will never give my athletes more than about 3 to 4 weeks of training at a time that they can see. I will have it mapped out, but I don't let them see too much because we can get a little bit stuck on what we expect that we should be able to do. And so that way, if I need to make adjustments as we're moving forward, it feels less painful to not know that there was an adjustment made. And I can hold that. I can hold those adjustments for you, and I can navigate that for you so that you're not feeling like you failed or like there was anything wrong with you. Because really, like, if we're not honoring what your body is allowing us to do, then we're not going to get to your goal anyways. So, and we don't want to have you show up at the starting line broken up and worn out. So the adaptations are really important. And then even the part of the training plan that my athletes can see, there's an understanding that tomorrow might change based on how today feels or how you do today or how in general this week is going. Maybe your long run this weekend will be adjusted a bit. And it's never because you're in trouble. It's because we're trying to get the most out of you so that you can meet your goals the quickest and the best. And then as a coach, we will also really work to highlight your strengths and work on your weaknesses. So some athletes really, really love doing very quick speed work and really love to go hit it hard on the track. I have other athletes that are like, if I never see a track, I will be happy. They love doing long tempos or they love hitting the trails. So I will program as much of the things that you love in as possible so that you feel like you're enjoying the journey. And so we're building on the strengths because you have strengths for a reason, and we want to build on those because that is why you're already doing well in the way that you are. And then I will help to work with you on your weaknesses. A lot of times we have weaknesses that we don't even know about. So I will help you to identify them, and I will help you to um, start working on them bit by bit. I have some athletes that their weaknesses are trying to figure out how to do drills. The coordination is really lacking. So we work a lot on doing drills and adding coordination in there so that when they are on a trail, they can jump over a tree root and not trip on it. I've got other athletes who they love to hit the gym. They love to get strong and do their strength work. And so we absolutely lean into that. But sometimes, if we're not careful, there can be a little too much of that, which then would affect somebody's ability to run well with enough recovery time. And and even like I have a lot of my runners don't really love to do strength work. So getting some strength work in little ways, a lot of times with like pre and post run work, I call it ancillary work. Ancillary work is anything that you do to help you become a better runner that's not actually running. And so we build it into your training so that you are getting some strength work without having to necessarily spend a long time in the gym. And then I can give you feedback on your training sessions. I have a lot of athletes that love to call me first thing Monday morning. Hey, here's how my long run went. What do you think? Because all of us need that. We're built for connection. Like we love to be able to kind of debrief and download like what we did. I always did it with my coach. I think he knew every Monday around noon I'd be calling him to either brag or cry about my weekend workout. And then throughout the week, if there's ever times where I had questions or I felt like I really failed something and needed to kind of work through that, or if I felt really good about something, I had somebody to celebrate it with me. And then having a coach really can decrease your mental load, especially if you're an adult and a parent, like, and you have a high stress job. The last thing we need is to try to add that training stress in our mind. So a coach will really help to lay things out in a way that should make sense to you, and that will help you to know, okay, this is what I'm doing today. And if it doesn't go well, or if it does go well, I know that I can talk to my coach about it, and I don't have to own that or try to figure it out or navigate it in myself. And so and then also, if you have a workout coming up that you're like, oh my gosh, you want me to run this hill at this grade, at this intensity? Where on earth do I find a hill like that? Well, let me know, and we will absolutely figure that out with you. And or like, I don't have access to a public track. Like, that's a common one. And we will figure out where to have you do a specific track workout that may or may not be on a track, but can be very adapted to a certain location that you might be in. And so yeah, that mental load of trying to figure it all out by yourself is way decreased by having a coach, because then you have somebody that's on your team that's trying to help you succeed. And then it's like having a coach is also a very holistic approach. I know that like different coaches have different styles. I know my style is very holistic. I care about my athletes as whole people, not just like, you're not just a runner to me. And so if there's stuff that's difficult in your life, it's going to affect your training. If your training is going hard and you're having a hard time with it, it's going to affect your life. And so I work with people as whole people. We talk about the hard stuff sometimes, and we work through so that you can thrive as a whole person. And then yeah, I really believe that coaching is a really valuable investment in yourself, in your goals, and in your overall health. And especially if you've got really big goals like qualifying for Boston or the Olympic trials or um, trying to get ready for your first half marathon or your first 5K. It's it's an investment to help you get to those goals that you want to get to that would help you feel really good about yourself and like you accomplished something. So, anyways, that's my take on why a coach is so much more valuable than just a fixed training plan that you might be able to get from ChatGPT or an online training plan. Thank you.